Welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaClaw Scott, and today we are reviewing The Blackening.
This is a fun movie.
It was. I have to say that a lot of comedies are no longer like comedies, right? Like, I think back to like the early and mid 2000s when there were, you knew that there were going to be like comedy movies, and I think that they've steadily disappeared, unfortunately. And with this one, I expected it to be more horror than comedy, but it is actually a comedy movie under the guise of like the horror tropes. And it starts with the tropes and then it gets into like more nuanced humor, and then the humor that comes with within horror and like situational horror comedies. And I thought it was really good.
I felt like a lot of the jokes were really subtle too. Like if you weren't paying really close attention, like when he goes to shoot his gun and he goes like this and the other guy turns his hand up, like
Yeah.
that was great. And it was quick, right? It was just like a quick shot. If
Yeah.
you missed it, if you blinked, you'd miss it. But I feel like there were a lot of those moments.
Hmm.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but it was pretty obvious in the beginning, kind of,
Yes.
you know,
Who
how,
the
yes,
who it was.
yeah.
Um, I was like, I wonder if anybody's gonna catch that. And we went to the theater, and I was quickly reminded of the rules, and I was like, oh, okay, we clearly know who it is, and then like how it unfolds, and you can see it unfold like in real time without spoiling it. But it's really good.
Yeah, I do feel like you're right that their comedies are becoming more than comedies. They're comedies mixed with serious storylines or comedies and actions, or there's always been in most action movies some element of comedy,
Hmm.
but I feel like now there are some comedy movies that have action elements added into them. It's a hybrid.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I was like, wow, when was like the last real comedy? I would think of like Melissa McCarthy, but she's brought that to like Netflix, and I feel like Netflix really invests in uh stars and comedies. And even before that, Bridesmaids, and then now it's like animation, and animation has some element of comedy, but like pure comedy is mainly on television. And what I found with this movie was even like the opening scenes with Yvonne Orji and Jay Farrell, they are known for television and comedy, and so it was very much like sketch.
Mm.
And then going in when the rest of the crew gets to the house and you start to see things unfold, and then like the jokes, and I'm like, oh, this is like very sketchy. Wonder where the horror is going to come in, and then the horror comes in, and it's just like it plays out very, very well.
Agree. I think the next, it's funny because I saw the trailer for No Hard Feelings. I've seen it a
Hmm.
couple times now, and that's like a straight up comedy.
Yes.
And I feel like it's almost boring a little bit. Like in the trailer, I'm like, oh, I kind of feel like I know how that's gonna go. Yes, though it'll be funny in
Yeah.
certain parts, like, and it'll be worth watching. But I've come to expect comedies to be more than just comedies now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like the romantic comedy package. And with a lot of the trailers, yeah, that one in particular stands out because I really don't see, I mean, I think there might be a couple of others, like Bottoms is coming out. I saw a trailer the other day. There's a female-led comedy produced by Ethan Cohen.
Hmm.
But it's like heist comedy.
Oh,
Um, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I feel like it's coming, but I just don't see like there's sprinkles here and there, but you know, comedy's coming, but I feel like television kind of wins with that.
I also saw a trailer. It was maybe, I'm going to say it's more than a month ago, about a movie. It looks like a relatively small, lower budget movie, but it's Taika is involved with
Mm.
it, and it's about a soccer team in like I can't remember, some country that's never won a soccer championship ever, and the lead, who I can't remember now, but the lead ends up there as the coach, and he's not happy about it, right? So but it looks really funny, and I feel like that's another straight up comedy that's coming, although I haven't heard about it in a month, so I'm not sure when it's coming, but it looks very funny. But yeah, a lot of stuff is coming out in a couple of weeks. I'm planning to see Elemental this week.
Okay.
Because I have a friend who's really into Disney Pixar.
Ah.
So we're gonna go see that. And I feel like Asteroid City, of course, is on the list. But yeah, I feel like there's a bunch of stuff coming, but we're just waiting for it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go to the slide. So close.
Yeah. So I gave acting a 3. I thought it was pretty good for the comedy horror like trope.
I agree. I give it a 2.5. You know, it's hard for me to imagine what a 3 looks like in that. So maybe it should have been a 3. Maybe I don't know why it wouldn't have been a 3. Rater's Choice, I give it a 2.5. I would recommend it, but for a certain audience. I wouldn't like wholesale recommend it to everyone.
Yeah.
The story,
No, I agree.
the writing was good, but the story was very predictable.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that was the reason why I liked it was predictable, because I think for fans of horror, you would know where this is going to go. But then you want to understand the why. And I think you understand it quickly from like, I think the first 10 minutes, you're like, oh, okay. But so it's one of those things of almost like Cabin in the Woods, which is very much like this, understanding the tropes and like just kind of not going through the motions, but like situational like comedies and throwing in, you know, kind of the I know what's expected here, but you know, it's still funny. It's like, okay, well, you know, I'm not supposed to do this. Like, I know the boundaries, I know the rules, and I'm still going to do this. Or like, I know it's dumb, but we're still going to do this. Like the the part when they decide to split, and it's like, what? Or and it's like, you know, you're not supposed to do that, but you do it you do it anyway. Or one part that stands out without spoiling is when someone stabs the killer's boot, and they leave the knife in the boot, and no one says anything, but like it just like disappears, and it's just like, you're not supposed to do that. Like, you're not supposed to drop the knife. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. And so it's like all these rules, and then, you know, so I really liked it. And yes, it's for certain people, you know, that probably like horror and probably like this type of comedy with which it's very much about picking apart of the culture and of horror movies and of like just the culture. Yeah, I think it's good.
I did feel like the soundtrack could have been a little bit more,
I agree.
but it was okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe this might have been done with a limited budget. Like, I just feel like it's so hard now to like get really good music in films now, just because it's really expensive.
And it did have a large cast.
It did.
All right. Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
Yeah, so a lot of films are on the list. I think this week will probably be The Dial of Destiny, the new Indiana Jones, which I'm very interested in seeing, considering the last one, which was almost 20 years ago. And seeing what they do with this. I think for me, the special effects will probably be the most, you know, the thing that I have my eye on, and also the story to see like where they go with it. Of course, I have Past Lives on my list, which has been extremely difficult to see because it's limited, even though it's doing very well in terms of like gross per theater, which is good. But I mean, we need to have more than 2 screenings a day.
Right. I agree on the Indiana Jones. I am a huge fan of Phoebe, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she does with this. And I hope that she is the new like franchise lead for whatever comes after it. That's gonna be fun. I mean, props to Harrison Ford, man. Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. He looks so over it. It's so funny.
he's over, but it has to be very validating to him. First of all, just like the fact that he is able to do a lot of what this film required.
Sons.
Yeah, like good for him. And also like just it's good to see, and it also has to be very validating for him to, to be called back, to not be replaced at this point in his career. So, yay. What else? The Flash. Not getting
Yeah.
great box office, although doing actually better than I thought it would.
Um, yeah, I'm not, yeah, I just feel like I see the Batman. I see Michael Keaton. I want to see Michael Keaton only. So if they had a cut that was just of the new Batman, I would probably
Yeah,
go see it.
I agree. You know what? I certainly wouldn't go opening weekend to see it because that's when it's most crowded. But I might, if it's still running in a couple weeks, I might go like on a Saturday morning, just for Michael Keaton. I do feel like I'm multiversed out though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, where do we go from here?
Oh, we'll see. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, it might be, I mean, in my recollect, the last of the multiverse films, but we'll see. I don't know.
I hope so. I need to get back to something else, or go to something else. Maybe not necessarily back, but we need to move forward into something new concepting. Because when everything is possible, then it doesn't matter, right? Like there are no consequences.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.